Now, I wasn't able to put the first day. I don't know, something happened to the video. So I wasn't able to get the first day, I don't think, on either this class or the 103. One of you I wasn't able to get the first day on. So I'm sorry about that. I can't do anything about it, but hopefully I can get this one up. I can't remember if it was 103 or this class. Is this 103 or 120? Is this 103? Okay, so this one's the one I wasn't able to get up. I don't know what happened to it. I can't find it, but I'll see. Or it might be wrong. I'll have to look on YouTube and see. But anyway, let's move on to MyLab Plus. Now, I think I covered most of the worksheets. Did I not, or did I? Huh? Okay. MyLabsPlus.com. Now, before, I want everybody to look at this page. I don't know if I went over this or not. Did I start on the MyLab Plus or not? Okay. Everybody look at that page. Get it seared into your brain. Okay? Because this is what's going to happen. Hold on a minute. This is what y'all do. Okay, he said go to MyLab Plus. www.mylabsplus. And this starts a 2 to 3 week cluster bump. Okay? This causes a 2 to 3 week cluster between student, myself, and MyLabs Plus. All because the student did not follow SA directions. Okay? This is not where you need to go. If you try to log on to this, first thing they're going to ask you for is a course ID. We haven't used course IDs since 2011. Course IDs are when you enroll yourself. TriCounty Tech already has you enrolled in this class. All you got to do is type in the access code and free up the ability to get in the course. Okay? This is not where you're supposed to be. It doesn't have TriCounty Tech on it. Now, the reason I do that is somebody always goes to this website, and they of course, they try to log on, and it asks for a course ID. Then they send me an email that says, I can't find the course ID. Do I respond? No, because they don't follow SA directions. And I'm sorry, and my department head even knows. She knows. I send her my handouts, and I say, please read them, because if they send me an email with this, this, or this, I won't respond. But she always gets emails about me that I won't respond, and she sends back, she's already told you. And so I don't go to the extremes with some of this hand-holding stuff, but I do go enough to where if you read it and you have it on a handout, you don't need to ask me the same thing that's on the handout. Okay? Some people think they can get along without reading, and you can't. So, tctc.mylabsplus.com. And this is what it looks like. Again, so you'll know it has TriCounty Tech on it. Now, I'm going to go through and ask y'all how many of y'all have used. I know you have, because you've had me before. Have you used it? That's you.
Incoming message.
So 2 out of, okay. So at this point, you type in H. McClure, that's my email address at TriCounty Tech. So yours would be bsmith1 or sjones4 or whatever yours is. You leave off the at tctc.edu. And all this is on that handout. It's called MyLab Plus handout that I sent everybody. I'm sending another one out Wednesday. I'm going to send another one out Sunday. Sunday is going to be the last one, because after Friday you can't add a drop. So after Sunday, that's going to be it. You'll have 3 emails, some of you will, with the same material. So you shouldn't say you really got it. And here you type in your T number. And there it is. Now, for those of you that's had MyLabs Plus before, you may have changed your T number to a password, then you need to use that password. If it doesn't use the password, then go back to your T number. They might have reset it to your T number. Try both of them, okay? If you just used it last semester, chances are it's going to be your password, all right? If you used it like, when's the last time you used yours? That 120 class?
Incoming message.
It might be reset to your T number. Oh, it didn't? You already did it? Oh, how long did it take you? How long did it take you to get on?
I just told you.
2 seconds. That's a minute. You know why? Because some of y'all, it takes 3 weeks. There will be somebody in one of my classes before the Unit 1 test, which is 3.5 weeks. I need your help getting registered. On what? My Labs Plus. Will I help them? No. Everybody gets a trophy. These people procreate too. Sad. All right, y'all are 103, right? Keep put y'all 120. I'm sorry. It's Miss Brissy's fault. All right. At this point, now, if you don't have an access code, or if you haven't used My Labs Plus before, you're going to see a pop-up come up when you log in. And it's going to say, access code, do you want to buy an access code, a 14-day trial period? Okay? You can use the 14-day trial period, but do not exceed the 14 days because that sends us into another cluster. All right? Access code means you have it with your book or you bought it at the bookstore. Buy an access code means you buy it online. Now let me talk about the book and the access code again if I have it the other day. You can buy an access code with your book, or you can borrow a book, you can share a book, you can steal a book, you can borrow a book, you can use a new book, you can use a book 3 years old. I don't care what you bring to class. Y'all hear something? Okay. Huh? I don't understand. It sounded like people talking, did it not?
Yeah, I heard it.
I've been watching too many scary movies. I watch scary movies all the time.
You were playing
Yeah, I was playing that the other day. Yeah. Well, somebody put up. They were talking about the TV show, and they said on Facebook, they said 2 or 3 weeks, Jason's coming back or something. And they were talking about TV shows, so I put that up there and started playing. Anyway, my son liked it, so I played Michael Myers too. Yeah, I love Michael Myers. I want Michael versus Jason. Yeah, I think that would be.
The original Halloween and the original director's coming back.
Yeah.
I don't know what's coming out.
But I like Rob Zombie's Friday the 13th better than the original. I like Rob Zombie's.
Halloween movies suck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true.
They were terrible.
But that's the only slasher movies I like is Jason and. Okay, shut up, Hubert. Don't chase that rabbit. I don't know how did we get on that. Oh, the voices in the computer. But anyway, some people, if you want to, you can take your book back and your access code back. It's still wrapped up, and you still have your receipt. Take it back. Then you can go online, and if you go online and just buy the access code, it's about $50 cheaper than if you bought the book and the access code in the bookstore. And then you can print out the book by sections and just put it in your notebook and bring it to class. Okay? If you use the 14-day trial period, what will happen if you exceed that 14 days? They will throw you in an inactive status, which will cause a cluster. Okay? Because you can get your access code on the 15th day, come in and try to punch it in punch it in the computer, and it's not going to take it. It's going to say student does not exist because they've put you in an inactive status. That's why. Then it's either you or I or all of us have to get online, or we have to get on with support, and that'll take a 2 or 3 day waiting period. And it'll just cause a cluster. So don't go past 14-day trial period, please. I beg you. All right? Any questions on the access code, the book, or logging in? Any questions on that? Okay, that's what the access code looks like right there. Comes in a little cardboard folder thing. Okay, it comes with the book. So that's that. Now, when you get in, you see what this looks like. Well, your old courses will be down here, just like mine. Okay? And then your new courses will be right here. Of course, you're not taking all these, you're doing 103. So you would click on the 103. Click on the 103. No Pop-Tarts in here. You're going to eat Pop-Tarts. You got to bring Pop-Tarts for everybody. All right. You click on to Math 103 and you get to this list right here. Now I want you to look at this list and I want you to tell me what if you would, what are 3 important buttons over here? What you think? Homework, quizzes or tests. It's a miracle. You got all 3 of them. Wow. Y'all two are exceptional. What do you call them? Gifted and talented? Y'all must be gifted and talented. Because I have to explain homework button. I have to explain that button to students. I have emails coming in. Where do we find your homework? I can't find it on Blackboard. That's the type person that if they were standing in front of me, I think I would hit them. Because have I said anything to y'all in any of my handouts about Blackboard other than it doesn't work half the time?
It doesn't work, it's down half the time.
Exactly. And when it's really down is right before you need to take a test or a final exam or something.
My freshman year, my teacher put in everything on Blackboard. It'd be down like 3-5 days a week, and I'm just sitting there, we can't even look at this.
Exactly. It's so frustrating for students. And then and who gets the brunt of it? We do. As teachers, we get it. All right, homework. That's where you find your homework. There it is. Okay. Oh my gosh, Hubert, there's no due date. You need to worry about it. No. Y'all worry about things y'all don't need to worry about. But we'll get into that in just a minute. Quizzes and tests. What do you think that's for? Quizzes and tests. Now let's make a note on this. You see all these tests and quizzes right here? These are not yours. These come with the book. Okay, if you want to get on there and play with them and you want to do something for no grade and practice, then do it. Knock yourself out. Take all of it. It's not going to help you grade at all. It'll help you as far as making a better grade, but it's not going to factor into your grade because these come with the book. I don't have any control over these. Okay, so these are not mine's going to be called Hubert's Unit 1 test, or Unit 3 test, or Unit 4 test, and it'll be up here in this area. It's not going to be down here.
Is it going to be like when you have to expert?
No, I don't do that. Okay. So, and when we get to the test, when I get ready to, assign a test to you, I will say we're going to go over the test in class, and I'll show you what it looks like and all that. Okay, so some of you hammies, you don't need to worry about that. When do you need to worry about doing homework? When I start teaching. I haven't started teaching yet, so you don't need to worry about it. Jeez. I already had somebody ask me this morning, when do you think you'll start the homework? I don't know. I don't have any idea. You think about that when you go home. I'm going to start it tonight at midnight. That way y'all all will be behind.
Incoming message.
But some students are actually conditioned because of other teachers. I understand that. Some teachers are just stupid, and they are. High overall score. Wonder what overall score is. That's your average. That's your grade for the class. Another gifted and talented student. I have several emails. Several I keep at the end of the semester. How do we find out what we made in the class? And I don't reply. Alphabets. What is that? Oh, how do you eat those?
Incoming message.
Are those regular Cheerios or Honey Nut? Okay. You can't eat regular Cheerios. You might as well just eat cardboard box. I can't stand Cheerios. I like Honey Nut Cheerios, but I throw them things away. Okay, shut up. All right, so that's where you find the test and the grade book. Now, if you need to review anything, you need to go over a homework, go over a test, print out a test, print out a homework, then that's where you go. You go to grade book and hit review and go through, and you can print it, you can look over the questions and the answers that you gave it, okay, after you have completed. And I'll show you that later on, okay, when we got something in there. But right now we don't have anything in there. Right now, everything will be set up on 60-20-20. 60% unit test, 20% final exam, 20% homework. I have to tell people this, and I've got some bonus questions. In fact, let's go in here. I'll go ahead and show you. Just give me a second here. And copy, import.
You have a work email.
I don't know when's the last time I taught this class. I don't know what I use on. I'm just going to pull in a test. Import test 5 and 6. Import. And then I want to edit. Next. Get out. These. I made up some new questions, Ms. Priest. And people say, where do you get those questions? Where do y'all think I get them? From students? Well, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Next. Oh God, I better fix this because some of y'all are already spazzing out. Oh my God, he's signing a test. Oh my God, is it you tonight? Today's what, the 23rd? And what time is it? 11:58. We'll make it 11:30. Somebody said, oh, please, if I could do it midnight. People, y'all need some medicine. 3rd, we'll make it 12:30. Oh, well, I won't have time to do it before 12:30. That's 8. That's I didn't put that 8. There we go.
Incoming message.
All right. When you go do a test, go do that test. Let me just go back to copy. Not copy. Go to menu. Okay, now when you go to quizzes and tests, there's my test, see? And it's up here away from these generic tests. Click on it. You have 60 minutes to complete this assignment. It should be 90, but I'll fix that. Now, they give you another button that says Start Test. The reason they give you this button right here is to make sure there's not a lightning storm outside, to make sure there's not a flood, a hurricane, a tornado. You got 15 kids running around. You ever seen that commercial where the teacher's wanting to go on vacation? She's talking, and there's 2 kids in the fish tank. All right, that's not supposed to be going on when you fix them to take a test. All right, if there's like lightning bolts outside, the pretty blue ones and pretty orange ones and everything, don't take the test, because what's going to happen? Murphy's Law. Lightning's going to strike your house or your computer or turn it off. Oh my God, and then it's going to start. You're going to get on email. Oh my God, and then you're going to go into, and I'm just going to ignore everything because I'm looking outside, and guess what I'm seeing? Lightning bolts. And I see Miss Brissy email, and I'm going to say, I'm just going to shake my head. I'm going to go back to sleep. I'm going to go to sleep. What I'm going to do, I'm going to continue watching my scary movie. Why? Because Miss Brissy was not very knowledgeable in taking a test when lightning bolts coming out of the sky. Okay? So I'll take care of it the next day when I'm not irritated. Anyway, hit start test. I have to tell y'all this, not y'all, but I have to say it. When is the week of finals? You think it's C? Okay.
I'm gonna take A.
You're going to take A?
Earlier.
I gave these, and I may have told my former students this, the first day I did the bonus questions. Now, there's a story behind the bonus questions. There's two reasons I've got these bonus questions on here. One is because they came down with a mandate I got a department head that does what she's told. So when she's told to do something, she tells us to do it, and we do it. Okay? And that's not bad or good. I'm just saying that's the way it is. So she said we've got to incorporate things from the syllabus and our handouts into the class. So some do it with quizzes, some do it with pop quizzes, or some do it with test questions. I do it with test questions. And then the second reason I do it is because the essay questions that I get every end of the semester, I put them on here. That way, how many unit tests are there? There's 4 unit tests. These questions are on every single test, so you get 4 questions with those stupid questions. And hopefully, and it's cut down considerably on the dumb questions at the end of the semester. Not all, but I'm still making them up, if that makes sense. But anyway, she came up to me, first time I did this, a woman came up to me and she said, I'm offended. And I'm like, why are you offended? And she went, I had somebody die in my aunt's cousin's sister-in-law's fiance's third grandmother. She died in September 11th or 9/11, whenever it was. She fell on her head, and I was like, well, what do you think about people who, you think people were offended about December 7th, 1941? And she said, what was that? What's that? Wow. I'm like, see, don't come to me offended by 9/11 when you don't even know what Pearl Harbor was. These people, some people in life, I had an ex-mother-in-law, notice the word ex. Okay, I had an ex-mother-in-law that she just wanted something to happen to her. She just, what's these people think they're sick all the time? Yeah, she's just about like that, only she's nut too. I think there's people actually go through life that want to walk into a fence post, or want to get hurt, or want to be offended. I think there is. I think people actually go through life wanting to be offended. Anyway, the only possible answer is this one. Now, this is not this semester, that's last semester. I gotta fix it. But I just put y'all's is in here, so it will be in here. So just hold on a minute. I'm giving you this to show you what type of questions I ask, as well as what kind of bonus questions you're going to get. There's a question.
Incoming
Multiple
message.
choice. Here's one. How is the homework, test, and exam weighed? Should be in Hubert's course, but since you're taking a test in my class, I figured you'd figure, me. Oh, why doesn't it B? Well, that's not what I told you, but there's another reason. Doesn't add up to 100%. That's the most missed question of my bonus questions right there. People say 30, 30, 30. They procreate too. There's a question. Oh, here's one of my new ones. So Miss Brisa, you hadn't seen this. If you look at your overall grade is in quotation marks. That's on your grade book, the button that says overall grade. One day, and it has decreased from several days ago. What has happened? Hubert and Russia have conspired against you. I will actually take that as an answer, because Russia is into everything. Poor old Hillary. Everybody conspired against her. Wasn't the fact that she was a terrible candidate, and her husband was better than she was, but Anyway. What? C says butter. I got that from when I was doing this question. I was watching Patrick Starr, and he just ate a big old fucking butter. I was watching it with my son. We record SpongeBob SquarePants.
You know the ending, right?
Huh? Yeah, after 16 years. It's satanic.
It is.
Yeah, and it's also, what is it? Racist, and it's also, what is it when you against gay people? Homophobic. No, it's the opposite. It's promoting gay people or something. Somebody used to say Bert and Ernie on Sesame Street were gay or something. Where do people come up with this stuff? Stupid. All right, what is the only possible answer? D. A 0 has been placed for a missed assignment, or you clicked on the wrong selection. Now, what the wrong selection means is that you clicked on test average instead of what? Overall grade. Test average may be 98, but when you factor in the homework, it may come down. You may have gaffed up. Now, if you have 100 on the homework, it will go up, of course. But if you gaffed off the homework and you didn't do half the sections, and I put a 0 in, then it will bring it down. Okay? I had to put that in there because I had 3 students last semester when I put their grade in the TriCounty Tech file, the grade turn in, and it came up. They said, I had an A going. I had an A Monday. I had an A Friday. You had an A average on your test average. In MyLabs Plus, upon completion of all assignments, the Gradebook will give me every semester. I have a student that will either text me, call me, or email me and say, if the final grade on Course Compass or MyLabs Plus, is that our final grade for the class? Do they get a response? Nope. When is the week of finals? This is this semester. This is your question right here. I say D is in Delta. Yep. B is quack. That's probably your second best answer. I'm offended. You can put I'm offended on there too.
Scratch it.
That's standard questions. In your grade book, if you find your final grade after you have completed all your assignments, which should you choose? I'm sorry. In your grade book, to find your final grade after you have completed, which should you choose? Cookie, Hubert sucks, butter, or overall grade?
I take D, I get extra points off.
No, I'm very lenient on these. There's a standard deviation question. MyLabs Plus. What does Gradebook do? Measures my IQ. Predicts the temperature for July 4th, 2015. That's when I wrote the question. Snow White. Keeps up records. My grade keeps up with the records of my grades and gives me a final grade after all assignments are completed. Somebody out there right now, out of the 10 people that are in here, one of y'all are saying, do people miss these questions?
I've already asked myself that.
Miss Brissy, do people miss these questions? Yes.
Do they miss them for being funny, or do they miss them because they actually miss them?
I'm scared to ask them. If you have incomplete assignments and Hubert puts a 0 in for the grade, what will that 0 do to your grade? Tapioca? I was watching one of the progressive commercials where she's talking into the tapioca. She's trying to give, you know that one? Decrease it. Hubert sucks. Make it better. Well, it's not, you don't say make it better. That's something Patrick would say. Make it better. Decrease it. Yeah, that's true. So you start to see some of the, I think there's 10 on each test. Now, well, Hubert, you said they were about 4 points apiece. Yeah. 40 points. 40 points if you're cognitive and sentient.
Read.
And you can read, yeah. So everybody should make above a 40 on their test, do they? And they procreate too. Why does Hubert not entertain extra points, extra credit, dropping any grades that last week of stuff during the final weeks of the semester? Because he wants me to fail and live in a ditch. That's the second best question to answer. He awards me extra points for these type questions on test, and he drops the lowest 2 grades on each unit test because he's mean. He makes my head hurt. I would say A or B. I'll take A or B on that one. Okay. Again, normal math questions. When is the last day for this semester? This is y'all's, I think.
Incoming message.
That's April. That's last semester, so I'll take that one off. What is Hubert's email and cell phone number? Which one you think it is? I had a person, I don't know your cell phone number. That's what they told me. I got it wrong. Yeah, wow. Why do you say wow? Why? Somebody tell me why.
I mean,
C is the only one. Yeah.
process of elimination. You could hand a 5.
These are people that can't spell mom backwards.
You could hand a 5 on this test, and he can at least get a 40.
Well, you have an excuse, okay? This person actually said, "I don't know your number. I don't think that's fair." She did. She said, "I don't think this question's fair because I don't know your number. Only if I look it up on the handout that you gave me." That's what she said.
Most parents are walking around and taking the test and see that live in a ditch question, you'll be like,
Oh, they're going to be offended. Wait. If you take several forms of a unit test, I need to put unit test because there's three attempts. How is it counted? Now, I haven't told you this, but he takes the highest grade and drops the lowest. That was one of my first bonus questions because technically there's 2 answers. And then I started making it to where there is no, but just one answer. So this is one of my first questions that I wrote.
Priority 1 message coming in on secured channel.
There's another math question. That's it. So, how many I answered those just so I could see what I made? I made a 37 and I had no idea how to do the math. So if you ever meet a person and you're talking about math classes and you say, "I got Hubert McClure," and they go, "I failed his class," step away slowly from that person because the dummy may wear off on you or the stupid may get on you somehow. Okay? Or the lazy. Because there is nobody that should. I mean, a D in my class is highly plausible if you do your homework. A D. You would. Okay. So that's what I've shown you the test now, but I'll show it to you again before we take it. Yes, ma'am.
So I know you kind of don't put with like super people, but like I'm really bad at math.
I was terrible at math. So I will spend all day going over math problems if you need it. Don't worry about that.
I really bad math in high school, like made me cry, and my dad always helped me with math because so I've been.
Now, if I call you a loser, it's a joke, okay? I'm not saying that you're going to live in a ditch down by the river or anything, but I do that to make light of a bad situation. But I don't think you'll have problems in here because this is not a methodical, repetitious type class. It's more of a thinking class more than it is a methodical factoring over and over and over, exponents over and over and over, where you've been used to with Algebra 1 and Algebra 2. This is more of a practical application with basic math behind it. Okay, so chances are you'll be all right. Okay, most people are, and it is. The first two tests are problem stats, which is mathematically based. Now, basic math. When we get into business math and income tax, that's a lot of formula driven, but it's just plug and chug. You don't have to derive any formulas like you do in algebra. You just have to plug and chug. So, and the last unit I try to avoid because it's senseless. So I only pick, if I do get to the last unit, I just pick out sections that are useful for the students. Okay? All right, now let's go to the homework. This is the most important part because this is how I gauge how fast I go. So this is important to you as well as anybody else that may have some problem with math. Let's just go to, I'm going to go to chapter 3. No, let's see. What's the first unit? I'm sorry, say it again. 5 and 6. Is that the first unit? Chapter 5 and 6. Okay, I'm going to go to 6 because that's where the math starts. Okay, I'm just pulling this up because I don't want to try to answer no vocabulary questions because I'm terrible at vocabulary. So I'm going to ask the math questions, find the math question. When you go to these math questions, each one of them are set up the same way. Now, for those of you that, for those 8 students in here that have had MyLabs Plus, you know what I'm talking about. But for those of you that haven't, this is what I'm trying to show you right here. The question help. Now, everybody has been in a tutoring lab before. There's 2 types of tutors. There's the guided tutor, then there's the tutor that just tutors. All right, what's the difference between the two? Okay, here's a guided tutor. All right, right before you, you have a question. How many numbers are in this question? Well, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You say 12. That's right. 12, there's 12 numbers. And the question is asking you to find the mean. What is the mean? The average. Now, if I asked you for a definition of the mean, probably most of you could not give it to me because you don't know. What does the mean represent? What number does it represent? And that's when you get in the loop. They say the average of all the numbers. Okay, well, what's the average of all the numbers? The number that you get when you add them all up and you divide by the numbers. You get in this loop. The average is the number that represents no variation. In other words, your curve is straight. It's not going up like this, it's going straight. That's the definition of an average. And I guarantee you there's people that sat through a whole semester of probability and statistics and they didn't know the definition of a mean. And that's the definition of a mean. It's the number that represents no variation. What's no variation? What's the only concept in our universe that has no variation, no change whatsoever? I can't hear this. That's when you want to slap somebody. Time. Very good. How'd you get that? You're gifted, right? Gifted. Oh, she said it. You took that from 120, didn't you? You had a good 120 teacher. Who taught you 120? Anyway, 120, time. You can't change it. Now, some people can. There's some people that can change it because they're like 40, 50 years old and they look like they're 18. But that's genetics, okay? And then you got some people that try. You ever been to a dance recital or a cheerleading competition and the mamas trying to look like the daughters? It's really sad. You ever been to one of those? You want to take a picture of them and put it on Facebook and just put laugh out loud. That's all you want to do. They're still trying to wear the jeans that the teenagers wearing. Anyway, time cannot be changed. It cannot be influenced. It cannot. It's the only thing that we know of that's uniform. Now, if you have 5 or 6 5 or 6 test grades, they're all over the place. But what number represents where they're all the same? And that's what the average is, 70. 70 means that all, and I'll show this to you when we get there, but that's the, now what am I doing? I'm doing a guided tutorial. What am I doing while I'm teaching you how to do the problem? I'm asking you questions. That's a guided tutorial. Some people can't stand that, all right? Some people love it. Now, who would love it? Somebody that's very new to probability and statistics. Some people that have forgotten, that's been out of school. Let's see how the people that's out of school, let's say they've been out of school for 100 years. They've only been out of school for like 5 years. Okay, those people, all right? People that are very uncomfortable with the material, they use the guided tutorial, which is helping solve this. Well, I'm not that way. I just want you to show me how to do it. That's helped me solve. That's this. They don't ask you any questions. They just boom, 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 boom. Show me how to do it, step by step. That's the tutor. X minus 3 is equal to 4. All right, you got to get the variable by itself. Minus 4, minus 3 on each side. You get X is equal to 1. That's the tutor that just shows you how to do it. So when you're doing this, you got the guided tutorial, and then you got the tutor. That's the difference between these two learning styles. Then you got your visual learners, which are most of the time they're male. You know, y'all know what I'm talking about. Oh, I put it together. Just show me a picture. And they put the bike together, and then the woman goes, "What are these?" And there's a bunch of, those are spare parts. Meanwhile, Johnny's outside the ditch with the bicycle in the ditch like this because the front wheel came off. All right. Everybody knows that men are visual learners. We don't need directions. Didn't we pass that QT 5 times before? I know where I'm going. That's your visual learners. This is a video. Oh, she really annoys me. But anyway, all right, turn it up. But anyway, there it is. Very annoying. But she shows you how to do a problem like this. Yeah, exactly. All right, you also got, there's also called a graphic tutorial, or it's called something else. I can't remember what it's called, but it is where the computer, and there's a voice, a human voice, but the computer does the graphics instead of a person being there. Kind of like I do with, you don't see my face, you don't see my arm, you just see the whiteboard and the writing. Okay, well, that's what they do. They just don't have a person there. They just have their voice. And in some cases, they may have a whiteboard with just the writing showing like I do on my recordings. Okay, so that's called a graphic tutorial. And it'll be on here too, but this one don't have one. Let's see if I can find one with it. I don't see one right now, but anyway. You'll see it. It'll be over here. It'll have a little computer or something, or a little monitor. But anyway, print. Now, this is important because if you hit print homework assignment, it'll print the whole homework assignment. People do this for 2 reasons. One, they do it so they can do the homework, paper and pencil, just like back you did like 5, 10, 100 years ago, paper and pencil. They also do it because they put it in their notebook, and this is a trick that some of my students do. They highlight the ones that I do in class so they will know their notes match up with their homework question, so they can go back and do the question after they see how I do it. And they also mark it because they know that that's a possibility of a test question. Okay? So that's the 2 reasons people print the whole homework assignment. They only print the question. Back before we had this technology and Ask My Instructor, students would print the question and bring it to my class and just put it on my desk. That's really, people don't use this anymore. No hardly. Okay? Or if they come to my office hours, they'll print it out and give it to me and say, could you do this problem? But now you just do Ask My Instructor, and it sends it to me, and I can do a video for you if you're at home, or I can do, you know, in class. That's what I'm fixing to show you. This one right here that's what I go by. Ask my instructor. Now you can use this two ways. You can say, ask my instructor. You can say, if you didn't suck at teaching, I would know how to do this. Now I'm doing this for a reason, okay? And you send it. Oh shoot, I just canceled it. Oh well, let me do it again. Let me just say you suck, okay? And send. Now the reason I put that there is to show you that when I go to my homework, or not my homework, when I go to my email the next day and I'm getting ready for class, I show this to people at conferences and they just think it's the greatest thing in the world. You know how long I've been doing this? I've been doing this for like 10 years and they think it's the greatest thing in the world. Dinosaurs. Anyway, go to email, and when you look here, right over here, it's probably send it over here with 103 right here. Y'all are 103, right? No, it's sent it somewhere else. I'm working on there it is. I'm working on the sending it to my, and I've got it messed up right now, but I'm working on it. It's coming along. But anyway, there it is. And the reason I know it's that question is look at the comment. See? There it is. Now, I will send this when I'm working. I'm trying to get Outlook to send it to the mailbox. I've got it sending to the mailbox, but it's not sending to the right mailbox. So I'm working on it. All right? So the whole point is, at the beginning of class, I'll click on that Math 103 box, my file, and it'll have all the questions that it's supposedly sending to that box. And all I do is I click on it, and I do the question in class. Now, Miss Brissy can tell you that I do this, and how many questions do you remember me going over the most? 3 or 5, somewhere around there? I've gone over 10 or 20 in some classes. And now, if nobody sends me questions, then what? I'm going to keep on going. Squeaky door gets what? OIL. I don't say it, I spell it. Okay? Squeaky door gets OIL. If you don't send me questions, if you don't send me homework questions, then I'm going to assume what? Y'all know it, and I'm going to go on to the next section. See that? Okay, who's got questions? I got 2 minutes, I think. When's class over? 9:35 or 12:35? Don't lie to me. Miss Brissy, I trust you. What time's class over? I thought it was 12:35. I've got a few minutes. But what I'll do is I'll go over to the handy dandy. No hiccup. I'll go over to this thing and I'll turn it on.